Good morning, students. So we are going to start with a new part of the module, that is moment of inertia. Now that we have already completed center of gravity, so we're starting with moment of inertia. Now let us understand what is moment of inertia. Moment of inertia is nothing but it is second moment of area. I repeat, moment of inertia is nothing but it is second moment of area, or in other terms you can call it as of moment of area. It is moment of area. So we all have studied what is moment of force. Moment of force is force into perpendicular distance. Moment of area is moment into area. Moment of area is area into area, that is area into square of the distance. Area into square of the distance. Now we shall apply the same for this irregular plane lamina and calculate the moment of inertia. Now we have this moment of inertia about x-axis, about y-axis, and also about z-axis. But in the present case we will solve only with respect to two axes, that is x and y. Now we have a irregular geometric figure of area A, and we have taken a specific point in that area, and this point is at a distance y from x-axis, and it is at a distance x from y-axis. Now we need this perpendicular distances so that we'll be able to calculate moment of inertia. So let us consider an irregular plane of lamina of area A, whose center of gravity is at distance x from y-axis and at a distance y from x-axis. So that point which we have considered is nothing but it is the center of gravity of that irregular lamina. Now, as I told you, moment of inertia we can calculate about two axes. That is about x-axis and about y-axis. Now in this case we have calculated it with respect to y-axis. So moment of inertia about y-axis is nothing but it is first moment of area, and if this first of moment of area is multiplied by the perpendicular distance x, it gives ax square. Now let us see how this ax square came. What is first moment of area? First moment of area is nothing but it is moment of area. What is moment of area? It is area into perpendicular distance. So it is a into perpendicular distance is x. So this is first moment of area. That is ax. Next, as I told you, moment of inertia is second moment of area. So second moment of area means it is moment of area. Moment of area is a into x. Second moment of area will be a into x into x That is ax square. That is how we get ax square. So moment of area, first moment and second moment, that is with respect to y-axis. Therefore we write the moment of inertia about y-axis, which is denoted by Iyy which is ax square. So it is area into x, first moment of area, and second moment of area ax into x, that is x square. Now similarly we can calculate moment of inertia about x-axis. So moment of inertia about x-axis, it is area into y, or a into y, which is first moment of area. Second moment of area is a into y, that is ay square, that is ay square. So second moment of area we have calculated with respect to both x-axis as well as with respect to y-axis. Now, next in the next part, we are going to calculate, or we are going to see what is least and greatest moment of inertia. So we have calculated two moment of inertia, that is Ixx and Iyy, which can either be denoted as Ix bar and Iy bar. So Ixx or Ix bar, they are the same. Similarly, Iyy and Iy bar also are same. So what is least moment of inertia and what is greatest moment of inertia? Now when we compare the values of both Ixx and Iyy, amongst these two values, whichever is the greatest will be greatest moment of inertia, and whichever is the least will be the least moment of inertia. So that is what is being given here. If Ixx and Iyy are the moment of inertia of plane figure about x-axis and y-axis, if Ixx is greater than Iyy, then Ixx is known as greater or greatest moment of inertia, and Iyy is called as least moment of inertia. So basically you are going to differentiate the least and greatest moment of inertia based on the values of Ixx and Iyy. Now next part we have a term called as radius of gyration. What is radius of gyration? Radius of gyration is nothing but it is a simple term. Which will give the relation, or which is expressed in terms of moment of inertia and area. Now, to understand the radius of gyration, let us consider a irregular geometric figure, and let us consider any axis 1 1, which is at a perpendicular distance of k, which is radius of gyration. So we write the moment of inertia about this axis 1 1, as I is equal to a k square. Which means it is first moment of area is a into k, and second moment of area is a into k. So second moment of inertia about axis 1 1 is written as a k square. Now next we can rearrange the terms in this equation to get k, which is the radius of gyration, and it is written as k is equal to root of I divided by a. It is a very important term. Which is to be calculated, because in most of the problems we are going to use this term, or we are going to calculate this term, that is radius of gyration. Now again, this radius of gyration can be calculated with respect to both the axes, that is with respect to x-axis and with respect to y-axis. So when you are calculating it with respect to x-axis, you're going to substitute Ixx in the place of I, whereas when you're calculating it with respect to y-axis, you're going to substitute Iyy in place of I, in place of I. So this is how we are going to calculate the radius of gyration for x-axis as well as for y-axis, x-axis and y-axis. So basically this is used, while solving the problem, So these formulas are used while solving the problem, Now next we shall use, or we shall go on with an interesting theorem, which is called as parallel axis theorem, Now, what is this parallel axis theorem? Now, let us consider a irregular shape of area A. This x axis is an axis which is passing through the CG of this irregular lamina. We have one more axis, that is 1 1. So this is one more axis, 1 1. So basically we have two axes here, that is 1 1 axis, and the other one is x axis, which is passing through the CG. So this point is to be remembered, or it is to be noted, that in the parallel axis theorem we always have two axes, amongst which at one of those axes will be passing through the CG. One of the axes will be passing through CG, that is center of gravity. Now we see that the distance between these two axes is nothing but it is y bar. Next, we have considered an element which is located at a distance y from x axis. So basically we have a irregular lamina of area A. We have two axes, that is x axis, which is passing through the CG of the irregular lamina, and axis 1 1, and the distance between these two axes is y bar, and we have an element which is in the form of rectangle, and that element is located at a distance of y from x axis. So let us see what actually the parallel axis theorem states. This theorem states that the moment of inertia of plane figure about an axis 1 1, which is parallel to the centroidal axis, is equal to Ixx and the sum of moment of inertia about centroidal axis. It means that in this case I want I11, that is moment of inertia about 1 1 axis. So moment of inertia of 1 1 axis is equal to Ixx, that is axis parallel to 1 1 plus area of this irregular lamina into y bar. That is what I am going to prove now. So we can see here I11 is Ixx plus a y bar square. So this is the proof. So moment of inertia about an axis 1 1 is equal to sum of moment of inertia about an axis parallel to 1 axis, and the product of area and the square of distance between the two axes. So this is what is the statement of parallel axis theorem. So it is stated here in this paragraph. So as you can note, it is equal to the sum of moment of inertia about centroidal axis, that is Ixx, and the product of area of plane figure and square of distance between the two axes. Now let us prove it. Now, when we are supposed to prove it, we are going to consider a small elemental strip which is at a distance y from x-axis. Now, first let us calculate what is the moment of inertia about the strip x-axis. So I want to calculate moment of inertia of this strip about this axis xx. So what is moment of inertia? We know that moment of inertia is area into square of perpendicular distance. What is the area of element? Area of element is dA. So since it is an element, we are denoting it as dA, and distance is y, therefore it is y square. So moment of inertia of this strip about x-axis is dA into y square. Now next, moment of inertia of total area of this total area about 1 1. How do we write this? Now we are going to use the formula again: total area into square of perpendicular distance, which is written as Ixx is equal to sigma dA into y square. So moment of inertia of total area about x-axis. So first we calculated only moment of inertia of this strip. Therefore I wrote dA into y square. Now total area about x-axis, it is sigma dA into y square, where sigma dA term is used so that many such elements combine to form the total area A. So sigma dA into y square. Now next, moment of inertia of strip about 1 1. Moment of inertia of strip about 1 axis. Now, so in the next step, I am going to calculate moment of inertia with respect to this axis. That is for the strip. So again, it will be area into perpendicular distance. What is area? Area is dA. What is perpendicular distance? It is y bar plus y, because the distance of this strip from axis 1 1 is y bar plus y. That is square of the distance. So you have written dA into y plus y bar, the whole square. So do not forget to put whole square here, because it is y plus y bar. So the total distance of this element from 1 1 axis is y bar plus y, or y plus y bar whole square. Now when we open up this bracket, that is y plus y bar square, that is, it is in the form of a plus b the whole square. We get I11 is equal to sigma dA, because moment of inertia of total area. So in place of dA, I will write sigma dA, because I am calculating it for total area. So it is sigma dA. This y plus y bar the whole square, that is a plus b the whole square, it is written as a square plus b square plus 2ab. So it is y square plus y bar square plus 2y into y bar. Now next, in the next step, what we'll do is we will multiply the terms. So I11 is equal to sigma dA into y bar So sigma dA into y bar. Next, sigma dA into y bar square. So sigma dA into y bar square. And next we have 2y into y bar into sigma dA, which is written as 2y bar into sigma dA into y into sigma dA into y. Now in the next step, if you happen to see this axis xx and the centroid of area, since both are coinciding, the term y will be equal to 0. I repeat, since the axis xx and cg of the figure are coinciding, therefore y is equal to 0. And since y is equal to 0, this term, that is 2y bar into sigma dA into y, will be 0 and this term is 0, means we are left with I11 is equal to sigma dA into y square plus sigma dA into y bar square. Now next, let us substitute the values. What is sigma dA into y square? Sigma dA into y square is Ixx. That is Ixx. Next, what is sigma dA? Sigma dA is nothing but it is capital A. So, as I told you, many such elemental areas combine to form the total area A. So, that is capital A, and y bar square remains as it is. Y bar square remains as it is. So, this is the proof for parallel axis theorem. So it is very simple. Only thing is we need to remember the steps. So this parallel axis theorem is basically applied to calculate the moment of inertia about any axis parallel to the centroidal axis. I repeat, parallel axis theorem is basically used to calculate the moment of inertia about any axis which is parallel to the centroidal axis. So this was with respect to horizontal axis. Similarly, the moment of inertia about an axis I22, which is shown in this figure, also can be calculated. So in the same way, we will if I calculate for this also, wherein you have reference y axis, which is coinciding with the center of gravity. We have an element which is placed at a distance of x from reference y axis, and we have any axis 2 with respect to which I want moment of inertia. So that can be calculated as I22 is equal to I y bar plus ax bar square. So it is the same way as we calculated it in the previous step. So this is what is called as the parallel axis theorem. So basically we use this theorem to calculate the moment of inertia about any axis. So we make use of it when we are solving the problems. Now we have one more simple theorem, what is called as perpendicular axis theorem. Now, what is this perpendicular axis theorem? Now, this perpendicular axis theorem is nothing but it is based on the third axis, or it is based on the third reference axis. So, till now we have discussed only about reference x-axis and reference y-axis, but we do have the third reference axis, that is ZZ. So, what this theorem states? So, this theorem states that the moment of inertia of a figure about an axis which is perpendicular to the plane of figure is equal to sum of moment of inertia about two mutually perpendicular axes. Means we have x-axis, we have y-axis, we have z-axis. So it states that moment of inertia about z-axis is equal to moment of inertia of x-axis plus moment of inertia of y-axis, because this x-axis and y-axis, they are mutually perpendicular to each other, and that is what is told here. It is of sum of inertia about two mutually perpendicular axes. So that is x square plus y square, so how this x square plus y square came, let us see in the proof. So we have taken a simple diagram. Wherein we have three axes. So we have x-axis, we have y-axis, and we have z-axis. So next, let us see. We have a simple geometric figure of area dA, and the CG of this area is at a distance, that is perpendicular distance y from x-axis, at a distance x from y-axis, at a distance r from z-axis. I repeat, the CG of this figure lies at a perpendicular distance of y from x-axis, at a distance x from y-axis, at a distance r from z-axis. So this is the perpendicular distance. Now if I want to calculate moment of inertia, it will be area into square of the distance. Now let us see. Moment of inertia of strip about x-axis. So if I consider a small element in the area, so it will be dA into y square. dA is area of element, y square is the perpendicular distance from x-axis. So perpendicular distance from x-axis is y, hence it is y square. So in the next step, I'll be calculating moment of inertia of whole area about x-axis. So since I'm calculating it with respect to x-axis, I denote it as Ix bar. And since it is for whole area, I'll write it as sigma dA into y square. Now similarly, I'll do it for y-axis now. So moment of inertia of strip about y-axis, it is dA into x square, because x is the perpendicular distance of that point from y-axis. So it is dA into x square. Now for whole area, it is Iy bar, that is equal to sigma dA into x square, where sigma dA indicates a total area of the diagram. Similarly, we have it for z-axis. So z-axis moment of inertia of strip, so it is dA into r square, because r is the perpendicular distance of this point from z-axis. So area into square of perpendicular distance, that is r square. Similarly, for whole area about z-axis, it is sigma dA into r square. Now next, what we will do is we will add the mutually perpendicular axis. That is I x bar and I y bar. We will take the right hand terms. So sigma dA is kept common. It is x bar plus y bar. Or this is written as this is actually taken as, we consider a right angle triangle here. We consider a right angle triangle like this, right angle triangle. So in this right angle triangle, in this right angle triangle, actually this term is, this is what you call as, with respect to diagram, this is x, this is y, and this hypotenuse, which is z axis, is nothing but r. It is r. So if we apply Pythagoras theorem here, if we apply Pythagoras theorem, it will be x square plus y square is equal to r square. X square plus y square is equal to r square. Now this x square plus y square is equal to r square is actually written in this equation, is written in this equation, that is sigma dA x plus y square, or sigma dA x square plus sigma dA y square, that is after opening the brackets. What is sigma dA into x square? It is nothing but Iyy or Iy bar. What is sigma dA into y square? It is Ix bar. So this is nothing but it is Iz bar. So this is perpendicular axis theorem. That is moment of inertia about an axis, about an axis perpendicular to the plane of the figure is equal to sum of moment of inertia about two mutually perpendicular axes. So basically this calculation is done by considering a right angle triangle. Right angle triangle. So it is r square is equal to x square plus y square. R square is equal to x square plus y square. By using that concept, you will calculate the perpendicular axis theorem. So these are some of the important theorems which are to be kept in mind while solving moment of inertia problems.